Shalom, Chavarim, and welcome to Lesson 3, Pagan Word Influence, Part 3. Let's dig right in and get started on our word study. The first word is a title, Christ. The Greeks used both the word Messias, a transliteration, and Christos, which was a translation, for the Hebrew word Mashiach, which means anointed, by the way. The word Christos was far more acceptable to the pagans who were worshiping Creston and Christos. According to the Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible, the word Christos was easily confused with the common Greek proper name Christos, meaning good. According to a French theological dictionary, it is absolutely beyond doubt that Christus, Christus, Christiani, and Christiani were used indifferently by the profane and Christian authors of the first 2 centuries A.D. The word Christianos is a Latinism, being contributed neither by the Jews nor by the Christians themselves. The word was introduced from one of 3 origins, and the 3 are the Roman police, the Roman populace, or an unspecified pagan origin. With its infrequent use in the New Testament, that would suggest that it was a pagan origin. According to Real Encyclopedia, the inscription Christos is to be seen on a Mithras relief in the Vatican. Mithras was, of course, a sun deity, and the Vatican belongs to the Catholic Church, so they've got a false god there. According to Christianity and mythology, Osiris, the sun deity of Egypt, was reverenced as Christos, and the synagogue of the Marcionites on Mount Hermon, built in the 3rd century A.D., the Messiah's title is spelled Christos. According to Tertullian and Lactantius, the common people usually called Christ Christos. Let's move on to our next word, church. This is the word used in most English versions as a rendering of the Greek ekklesia. The Greek word means a calling out, a meeting, or a gathering. Ekklesia is the Greek equivalent of the Hebrew word kahal, which means an assembly or a congregation. The word church is not even close to the meaning of kahal and is indicative of a place or a building rather than people. Dictionaries give the origin of church as the Anglo-Saxon root kirke. It's spelled C-I-R-C-E, but the C is from the Anglo-Saxon is a hard C, more of a K sound. The most direct definition of the word is circle, but the word is also related to the words circus, circuit, and circulate. Kirke was the goddess daughter of Helios, another sun deity. Kirke was originally a Greek goddess whose name was written and pronounced as Kirke, but the spelling is with K, K-I-R-K-E. The word church is known in Scotland as Kirk, K-I-R-K. In Germany as Kirche, K-I-R-C-H-E, and in the Netherlands as Kerk, K-E-R-K. Throughout England, pagan religious gatherings were always held at a circle. The Druids with their Stonehenge, the Celts and the Saxons also met at stone circles to worship their gods. Many of these stone circles still exist throughout England. About 28 are found in the Yorkshire area. So, church is not a word that I would want to associate with my other believer friends if we were meeting together. And I don't want to meet in a church, which means a circle, because that is the way that the sun worshipers do. A lot of false religions worship in a circle. And as we mentioned about the stone circles that exist throughout England, and especially in the Yorkshire area, I just don't want to be associated with that word. Now, if you go to a place and they call it a church, I'm not certainly going to condemn you or judge you because you go to a place that's called a church. But just understand, try not to call it church yourself. If I visit a place that has the title of church and I speak about that place, I do not mention the word church. I'll mention the people and the community. Okay, let's go on to our next word. And this is a double word. It's cross and crucify. The words cross and crucify are mistranslations. They are admittedly a later rendering of the Greek words staros and staru, S-T-A-U-R-O-S, staros. According to Vine's Expository Dictionary of the New Testament words, staros denotes primarily an upright pole or stake, or even, as some call it, a pale, but not a cross. Where did the cross come in history? The shape of the two-beamed cross had its origin in ancient Chaldea and was used as the symbol of the god Tammuz. Remember that one from the previous study? In the 3rd century A.D., the pagans were received into the apostate ecclesiastical system and were permitted largely to retain their pagan signs and symbols, one of which was the symbol of a cross. Long before Yeshua even died on a stake, there were crosses. It wasn't a new thing. It's not a new piece of jewelry to hang around your neck. They were around long before the time of Mashiach. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, in the Egyptian churches, the cross was a pagan symbol of life borrowed by the Christians and interpreted in the pagan manner. As I already stated, the primary meaning of staros is an upright pole or stake. The secondary meaning of cross is admitted to be a later rendering. In spite of the evidence, almost all common versions of the scriptures persist with the Latin Vulgate's crux, C-R-U-X, meaning cross. And that's as the rendering of the Greek staros. The most accepted reason for the cross being brought into Messianic worship is Emperor Constantine's famous vision of the cross superimposed on the sun in AD 312. What he saw, and I'm speaking of the symbol that he saw, the cross superimposed on the sun, is nowhere to be found in Scripture. But now I've already mentioned where it's found. It is a symbol that was used in sun worship. And get this, the Emperor Constantine's vision was a symbol of the cross superimposed on the sun. That sounds suspicious to me, doesn't it, you? Okay. What he saw is nowhere to be found in the Scriptures, and I was speaking about that earlier. There's no symbols like that that are mentioned in the Scriptures, and I think that if it would be something that important, there would be some sort of mention at least of the relevance to Constantine's vision, or his so-called vision. Even after his so-called conversion, his coins showed an even-armed cross as a symbol for the sun god. Many scholars have doubted that the conversion of Constantine was true because of all the wicked deeds that he did afterwards. After Constantine had the vision of the cross, he promoted another variety of the cross. There's something else people could wear around their necks. It's called the Chi-Rho, or labarum. This has been explained as representing the first letters of the name Christos, CH and R. So that would be the first two letters of the name Christos, or title Christos. In Greek it would be X and P. The identical symbols were found as inscriptions on a rock dating from 2500 BC, being interpreted as a combination of the two sun symbols. Another proof of its pagan origin is that the identical symbol was found on a coin of Ptolemaeus III from 247 to 222 BC. According to an illustrated encyclopedia of traditional symbols, the labarum was also an emblem of the Chaldean sky god, another sun deity. Emperor Constantine adopted the labarum as the imperial ensign. According to Dictionary of Mythology, Folklore, and Symbols, the symbol was in use long before Christianity. Chi probably stood for great fire or sun, and Rho probably stood for pater or pata, father, in other words. The word labarum yields the meaning everlasting Father, Son. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this teaching today, my friends. I don't know what I'm going to be teaching next, but maybe more of the same. Who knows? But I know the Father will lead me, and I desire your prayers. Thanks for dropping by.